Hey everybody, it is Ed. All right, we have my father, we got Richie, and Richie has with him the Elvis at Madison Square Garden FTD book that was released a few years back. And, well, for lack of anything better to say, Richie was one of the fortunate people way back in 1972 on those days of June 9th, June 10th, and June 11th, had seen Elvis Presley at Madison Square Garden, all four shows that he performed there. Waited in line for tickets, which he told the story in a previous video, and we got the tickets for the first three shows. Got home, got a phone call that they put on sale an additional show for the Sunday, June 11th. Went back to the city, got tickets for that concert, went home, and then...
the rest is history.
That is absolutely correct. So, let's take it from there, and why don't you share some of your memories as you look through that book, see some of the pictures, and what some of your recollections are. Now, also, really quick before you do that, one more fun fact is that the process of getting the tickets initially was where you met Jim Morris in line.
Correct.
And
Pat.
Pat Shamara,
Right.
who then became Pat Morris. And that was the foundations of the King's Court fan club.
Correct.
So, with that being said, just share whatever recollections or memories you have.
I believe back, I spoke when I met Pat and Jim. They were up in Boston. They just came down, and they saw Elvis up in Boston at the Boston Garden. It's funny how things were there then, because April of '72, when I met the Colonel, I asked him if he was ever going to come down to New York, and he said no. They had no recollection of, if they were going to play New York City. Meanwhile, '72 was April, and there in
That
June.
was in Buffalo when you met them.
Yeah, well, that
April
was Buffalo. April was in Buffalo, and here we are, 2 months later, and he's playing the Northeast, and he was at the Garden. He came to the Garden, and how that all occurred was my friend called me and he said, "Get the Sunday Times." So I went out and bought the Sunday Times, and in the middle of the advertisement, they had a big centerfold with 3 pictures, and it said on the top, "Don't miss it. Elvis in concert, Madison Square Garden, June 9th and 10th. Well, we all went berserk. We went to get the tickets, and I thought we would be the first ones there, but I was in for a rude awakening, because when I got there was a hell of a lot of people there waiting and doing the same thing that I was doing, trying to get the tickets to see him. Then, after we got the tickets for the first 2 shows, well, actually the first 3 shows, because we did Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday night, we went home, and then all of a sudden my sister-in-law calls and says, "We have the 4th show," so I had to go back to New York to buy those tickets. So that's the whole thing in a nutshell, how that went.
Okay, so now tell us about the very first concert, Friday night.
It was wild. They booed Jackie off the stage. They didn't even want to hear him.
Jackie who?
Jackie Kahane.
Jackie Kahane was?
He was the comedian he was the opener for Elvis, and
One of them.
they didn't want it. They wanted Elvis, and that was it. And no matter what happened, it was Elvis, Elvis, Elvis. That was it. No doubt.
And what did Mom bring in with her that night?
She brought in a tape recorder,
Okay.
and we taped these shows.
Well, we didn't tape Saturday, but we taped Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you turn it over so people can see it the correct way? Flip it.
Okay, wait, let me do it this way.
And then you got to turn it around because they're looking at a blank side.
Right. And this way. Okay. I got you.
But now you still got to...
Yeah. Do it this way?
Yeah.
I'm not technically
There you go.
smart.
There you go. All right. Friday night. And it says, 6/9/72. All right.
Okay.
So, Mom recorded that show.
Right.
All right. So, what else can you tell us now? This is probably only the second time that you've seen Elvis at this point.
Yeah, I saw Elvis at Buffalo
Right.
of April of 72. He looked good. He looked phenomenal. He sang great. And the crowd loved every minute of it. And he had the crowd in the palm of his hands. Every move he made, every syllable that he sang, everybody loved it. They went crazy. And I never in my life seen anything so... He looked like an Adonis. That's how good looking he looked. The clothes he wore, his outfits were phenomenal. And he filled them out to a T.
You show people some pictures as you're talking about it.
And then I'll show you something here. Let me see this one. This one was this was the Saturday show, I remember.
That's Saturday afternoon.
Saturday afternoon, June 10th. And he turned around and said, "You don't know what I'm going to do yet." And the crowd went berserk. And then as he started to sing Hound Dog, and then he went into the fast version of it, they really went berserk. And it was really a happening because never in my life, from the first time that I saw him, I mean, he presented himself phenomenally. And he had the whole audience, in the palm of his hands. And I tell you the truth, only Elvis could do that. And it was just a great show. And I'll never forget it. And that's the bottom line. It was phenomenal.
All right, so then we have the Friday night and then we have the Saturday afternoon. Is there anything that sticks out from any particular show?
No, all four shows were great. I mean, my recollection of it, they were all super, super, super shows. He was very, 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 how could I say it? He was really into it. You could see it.
Right.
And the audience, the crowd, they loved every minute of it. They went berserk also, like me and everybody else.
Do you remember getting anything at those shows, at the souvenir stand, or any of the posters that are up here?
Yeah. I bought all the stuff.
I know, but okay, we know that you. But what I'm saying is, does anything stick in your mind at those particular shows of anything that you had picked up? For example, do you remember specifically? Oh yeah, I got that poster with the blue shirt at a garden show. Or...
I have a show. The one at home I have, that was like the drawing.
Uh-huh.
The one I have downstairs,
Okay.
that I bought at the garden. That one I bought at the
The
Garden.
Loxy posters.
Yeah, it was one. It was
No.
yeah. You'll see it. I have it downstairs on my wall in the
I thought those were
basement.
Vegas.
Yeah.
I thought those were Vegas and later because they weren't. They
Or
weren't
maybe it was
right. Okay.
maybe it was Vegas.
All right. So,
And,
all right. No, that's all right. That's cool.
You know,
That's cool.
and then of course I bought the picture booklet. You know, the album that with all the pictures in
The
it.
photo album.
Yeah, the photo album. I bought that.
Okay.
I bought. I don't think I bought a shirt. I didn't know if they were selling shirts then.
Were they selling souvenirs scarves at that time in '72, or was that after '74 when they?
I don't
started the
remember.
autographs?
I don't remember. I'll be honest with you.
Well, Mom never bought a scarf.
No. Mom got all her scarves from Elvis.
Elvis himself.
Yep.
And we even have documentation on some of your recordings.
Yeah.
Where you hear Mom get a scarf.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, it was good times. You know, we'll never see those times again. That's for sure. I see you got some pictures here.
Yeah, well, you can show everybody as you go by. if
Yeah,
you want.
these pictures were taken at the Garden.
By Jim Morris.
Yeah. I never took any pictures of Elvis
No.
because I never wanted to look at Elvis through a peephole of a camera.
Through the lens.
You know, and that's the way it was with me. I wanted to see the whole image.
Well, Jim had to sneak his camera, right? He couldn't.
No.
I thought you weren't supposed to be taking photography.
You could take pictures.
Uh-huh.
You could take
On
pictures.
the back of the camera. I mean, on the back of the ticket.
Yeah, you could take pictures. It was no video and all that kind of garbage. The way that they did
At that
it.
point, it was only 8mm or possibly Super 8, unless you could somehow, schlep in a 16mm.
Well, listen. I was there when Schilling and Sonny and Red were walking around telling people you can't have a camera with movies, you can't take movies, and in the back of the ticket,
Stuff, right?
in the back of the ticket, it said the same thing,
Right.
So this is the way they operated it. They didn't want anybody, but of course the Colonel, he never, there was a camera on stage at the Garden.
Sure.
And they never did any filming,
Right.
and which I don't understand why, but he never did. So what that really blew my mind that he never did that.
When were you aware that the album was going to be released? How did you become aware of that? Do you remember?
How did I remember? Let me see. Well, we knew it was going to come out,
Okay.
but we didn't know when.
Okay.
But then what happened was we found out it was coming out because the Colonel didn't want the bootleggers to get it out before
Okay.
Interesting. RCA,
Right.
so they put a rush on it. And it was out before you knew it. And I would say within a week and a half, it was already at Times Square stores.
Right.
And
Yeah, no, actually, it was 8 days. 8 days after the concert,
Right.
it was in stores.
right.
Good old TSS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Times Square
We
stores.
talked about them today, didn't we?
Yes, we did. But this is a picture that Jim Morris took, and this is on the Saturday afternoon.
Yep. And actually, I'll pull that out.
This
right
is on
now.
the Saturday afternoon show.
Yeah, you can show them. It's on the back.
Okay.
Show them as a comparison.
Jim Morris took that picture, and that's the picture.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Jim Morris took some good shots.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He's a good man.
But then, but Elvis, he looked great. He was in good form. And I don't have to tell you anything else.
Yeah, actually, you can show. Here's a picture of Jim Morris with Elvis. You can show everybody. Oh, if I don't drop it, try that again. Take 2.
And that's Jim and Elvis together.
And Elvis is holding the postcard that he's about to sign. That's actually on the wall right behind my father.
Correct.
I don't know if you can see it in the frame though, but it's above. A picture of my parents with Elvis. Here's a little sample of the Friday night concert my mother recorded. Not going to play too much because I don't want to copyright.
Yeah, because everybody's out to get something.
That's right. That's right.
But
It is what it is.
it is all good, and the memories are great to have, and I'm glad that I was there.
Yeah, I mean,
All of these shows that I've seen them.
How many people can say they've seen Elvis? Not only as many times as you have, but you got to see all four times he played Madison Square Garden. Actually, you got to see all times he played not only
The Garden,
but
the Coliseum,
Nassau County in Nassau County, Long Island.
the Coliseum.
Right. So 4 times in '73, 2 times in '75.
Yep.
And we were supposed to go in '77.
Right.
But unfortunately, that never happened.
Well, I was supposed to go.
Well, and plus, right, I'm talking about Nassau County and Coliseum.
Right,
He was
right.
supposed to go to that whole neck of the woods.
Right, and then we were going.
On that tour.
I remember I
Rochester
believe it
and-
was '74. We were going up to Niagara Falls,
Mm-hmm.
but then Ed's grandmother, my mother, passed away, so we couldn't go up to that tour. But as you can see,
And that's the picture that we used as that you used as the King's Court button.
Yep,
Hold on, I'll
yep.
get that so you can show that
right.
as a comparison. So hold the picture up next to the button so you can see that's what that was taken from. We'll hold the picture up with it.
I am.
Got that? All right. All right. Good job.
Yeah. But anyway, that was it.
After '72 is when you guys started writing your newsletters. '73 is really when those began.
Right.
And getting buttons and bumper stickers and other things.
Correct.
To the fans who had joined. And do you remember what it cost to join back then? Was it like $2? $2 a membership? Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember.
No, I think you know what? I don't remember.
Well, it was 1973. So
$5?
yeah, maybe it was 5.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But you got a poster, you got a bumper sticker, you got a membership card, you got a photo. You got I mean it was good stuff, and you got the newsletters.
Yep. And now,
Now it's a distant memory.
yeah, this is all that we have left.
Now it's nostalgia.
Unfortunately, we're all getting older,
Yeah, and time wins.
and Elvis is gone,
Well,
but
but the
you have
music
the
lives
memories.
on, the memory lives on.
Yeah,
Everything. It's good, man.
and I wish he was still here
Yeah.
because I'd be still following him, and so would my son.
He'd probably be in a gospel quartet now if he was alive. That's probably what he would be doing.
Think so?
Yeah.
He would have his own.
I do. I think he'd be in a gospel quartet just doing his thing.
Yeah. Well, listen, all I know is that this was a great time and I was there, and that's all that really, I can't complain. All I know is his suits were fantastic, the way he dressed and how he looked.
Nobody could pull that off but him, I think. I
yeah.
mean, others tried at the time, but
And
it
look
wasn't
at
Elvis.
no, nobody.
It wasn't Elvis.
No.
All right, but you know what? On that note, Dad, I'm gonna tell you what. Let's segue into this real quick because we're gonna cut this off.
Okay.
All right, but based on the garden shows and kind of like in the vein of the Elvis on tour, let's segue into the movie for a second, the Elvis movie. All right, because the day that we're recording this, it's actually the Academy Awards are tonight.
Okay.
And Elvis is up for, I believe, 8 Academy Awards.
Right.
Among them, I think we have Elvis is up for Best Picture, and Austin is up for Best Actor, and I believe Costumes as well is one of the awards, but I'm not entirely sure. But regardless, I think the Academy Awards is altogether pointless, and I really don't give us whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess would it be nice for the movie to win the Academy Awards? I guess. If it gets,
I would.
yeah, all right.
I would like to see it because I think down deep inside, I think regardless of what anybody says, I don't think they ever gave Elvis his due right, because I thought he was the epitome of it all. He was truly a great entertainer, and he had a great voice, and he can pull it off. But yet there was a lot of jealous people in this world that didn't want to give him his due right. That's my own personal.
Sure. Well, George Klein said it best. If you're an Elvis fan, there's no explanation
Right.
needed. If you're not an Elvis fan, there's no explanation possible.
Right, exactly.
All right, but I guess basically why I wanted to segue into the movie is because I think the next video we're going to talk with you about is going to be your actual review of the Elvis movie. So I don't really want you to give your thoughts now on the movie, but that's what we're going to talk about next, because people have been asking about it. Well, he was there. What did he think of the movie? And so that could be something that we will definitely talk about next time.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, but overall, now a lot of people are upset about the movie and the accuracy of it, as far as the historical accuracy of it. And I've explained, in my opinion, that I feel that yes, it's not absolutely historically accurate, but I think of it as a realistic fairy tale. That's really the best way to put it. And the realistic part of it is, as far as, let's say, the touring aspect of it, like the Burning Love montage in the movie, where he's on tour and he has all the different jumpsuits on. As far as like all of that, that's like spot on.
Correct.
Like, as far as the accuracy of the jumpsuits, his movements on stage, the best that he could to mimic Elvis and things like that. Just the how fast the cuts were and the pacing of it,
Right.
and the editing of it. I mean, it was like a frenzy. But to me, like, watching that, even though I was only like maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old at the time, that in that era of Elvis's life, but being there and seeing Elvis, to me it seemed extremely accurate. And you seeing the stuff in Vegas, I know,
Yes.
This is the one thing that you can say if you want, is that when you saw the Vegas stuff in the movie, how did you feel? It made you feel what?
It was very, very true to a certain degree.
But it made you feel like you were
there.
You were there again.
Yeah. And I got to say one thing, and I've seen Elvis 100 and some times, 150 times. Never did I ever hear him badmouth the Colonel.
That never happened on stage.
Never on stage.
No. He wouldn't badmouth. He would joke and
Yes.
jest and say certain things, but
Right, but he never
malicious.
never said bad things about the Colonel as far as getting rid of him and any of that stuff.
Nope.
But listen, him and the Colonel were the same. He lived off of Elvis, and Elvis lived off of the Colonel, and yet I think they couldn't live without each other. That's my own personal point of view.
That's what the movie portrayed as well. But a lot of people are ticked at the movie. A lot of people love the movie. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
All right,
and I wasn't there at that point in time to really see. But from what I did remember, Eddie always said to me that Elvis and the Colonel always got along, because Elvis knew that the Colonel gave him the opportunity to become what he became.
Right.
That I know.
And when you say Eddie, you mean
Eddie Bonja, yeah. God rest his soul. But, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, listen, you only can remember what you can remember, and that's it, you know. But it was good. It was all good.
All right, Dad.
I wish I could go back in time and do this again.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we can't.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
And we'll get ready and we'll think about the movie review, and that'll be our next visit with you.
Okay.
And I appreciate everybody watching. If you would like, please leave a comment. And as always, be good to yourselves, good to each other.
And be good to everybody.
Take care.
Bye-bye.